All right, should be live now. Let's see. Let's test the sound. How's the sound? The sound works. Might be a little low gain category. Let's try seeing if that can be fixed. Oh, actually, I know why. Now let's test the sound. That's much better. Can still be a little bit louder. I think that's good. All right. All right, so what's on the agenda for today? One is keeping the camera in focus. This little micro SD to well, it's doing okay. I need a better camera. The Ria Kio Razer Kio 2 looks like a nice camera, but the Kio 1 had a lot of problems on my system, and I'm not confident that the Kio 2 is going to be any better. Let's see here. What are we doing today? Today, we are going to deal with a couple of problems. One, we're going to deal with the parse not failing when it should be failing. The second thing we're going to be doing is dealing with the fact that we are no longer actually testing anything properly. A lot of our tests make an assumption that it's kind of amusing. A lot of our assumptions make the assumption that a lot of our tests make the assumption that variables don't have to be declared, and so those tests don't work. Um, yeah. But the biggest problem is that uh, things silently fail when they shouldn't. Um, I think actually that's in Lexer test. Yeah, I actually do print out an error in this case. I print out that I didn't get. So let's see what parse top does. Yes. parse top now exists just to create the parse context. This parse context is essentially all the scope frames. Um, it's the block stack, which is used to find the most recent block. Ah, this is the scope frame that was created to push things onto the context. Oh. I might suffer from the falling over dead tired problem that plagues me on weekends because of caffeine. So scope frame exists to push things onto and pop things off of the parse context. Uh, it's there basically to implement scopes as scopes in C++. Static scopes being implemented as dynamic scopes within the parser, kind of. Using a C++ idiom called RAII, which R, again, RAII. Uh, Typing that out so that there. See, the AI knows what RAII is because it contains the letters AI in it. Well, no, not really. But so resource acquisition is initialization, basically. It says that when you initialize a variable, you're also acquiring the resources for that variable. And so then when that variable goes out of scope, the resources for that variable are released automatically. Uh, and that's the whole point of it, is to associate some kind of scope with the, associate a compiler maintained scope with the lifetime of the variable so that the compiler will automatically clean up any resources associated with the variable when it goes out of scope. That's what this is about. This is about tying the scope in terms of the call stack of parse sequence to this stack that's being hand maintained here of all of the previous statement lists. Um, all right. Let's see. What have we changed? Well, that comment is about the live stream I was just doing, and any competent C++ programmer knows what RAI is, at least if they're no longer beginners. So that's what this is. This is a spacing issue, and that's it. And let's just make sure it still compiles. Yep. Okay. Now, we should run all the tests because all the tests, a bunch of them are going to fail. And, maybe we should go through the tests. Yes. There's a whole bunch of tests that failed. So we should go through all the failed tests and find out what happened. Also, somebody off stream is demanding my attention, so I'm going to temporarily mute and deal with the issue. Just a second. Sorry, folks, this is going to take a bit longer than I was hoping. Well, I will wait for a bit. There's a bit more that needs to be done here, but let's go through our tests, and then there'll be a random interruption at some point in time. So um, this should say check result equals null pointer. remainder not equal to tokens end. And my headphones spontaneously turn off for no apparent reason. That's really great of them to do. At least they made noise at me about it. There. What happens if I do that? How does that test go? All right. Time for me to step out briefly again. Sorry, folks. I'm involved in something off stream and it's going to take a while. I don't know if any of you are, if there's anybody here right now, but if there is anybody here, I apologize. This is a very annoying situation. All right. And we're back, hopefully. I hope that wasn't too disruptive. Should probably have done this at a different time, maybe. So it didn't like this, partly because catch 2 actually tries to parse your expression. And it didn't like, uh, yeah, it didn't like change the fact that I was doing this thing. Um, result shouldn't be equal to, will not be equal to, yeah, result will not be equal to null pointer, I don't think. Um, but, so let's check here. Well, that's annoying. I was doing this test and now it wants to do that test. Is there a way to just run this test? No, I don't think there is. Sorry for the noise if you heard the noise. Notification noises. Um, there's got to be a way to run. Let's see. It's got to be a way to run just a single test. There's got to be a way to do it. Apparently, apparently JetBrains isn't smart enough to have parsed out my tests to enable me to run just the one test. Interesting. So, yeah, this is annoying. Okay. As expected, this one did not succeed. Um, but remainder is not equal to tokens end. Um, doesn't like okay. So ideally here, result would be null pointer because this failed. And I'm willing to have this as a test failure. I don't know how to mark a test to catch two to say that it's allowed to fail, but um, it did fail. This part failed as it because it's not working correctly. Result, it is in fact doing a partial parse and then returning a statement list, and it shouldn't be doing that. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, but this check absolutely must. In fact, that you know something, I can just do this because this check must succeed. Um, so, and I think it does the tests in random order. I don't think it does the test in the same order all the time. So let's see about the. Yep, this failed, but the require part of it did not fail. So that's good. So let's look. Let's basically just go through test failures and try and fix them all, or verify that they're uh, this one. Oh, actually, you know something? We're going to go to the. Going to go to this test, and then we're going to. I should have kept track of what was here before I made the fix. I have to keep that in mind as I'm going through to fix other tests. Um, but why my headphones keep on spontaneously turning off, I have no idea. But we're going to copy the previous test code back in here, sort of. Um, I really should fix the prefix thing to do something a little bit better than what it currently does. We'll forgive the spare random semicolon in here. Although maybe I should actually go back to parser and find out why that's happening. So, because the prefix, the infix stringizer is the one that's doing that we're concerned with now. And how does it parse var decals? Well, or how does it print var decals? So it prints out a semicolon, but a var decal is also the statement list in which the var decal is in will print out the semicolon. So we can basically skip the semicolon in here. Okay, so that solves this problem. And then this, yeah, this is very annoying. There is no equivalent of a variable declaration in here. So I'm going to invent a syntax for this here. That is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to say that here inside of var decal, we're going to have a different kind of set queue. We are going to say set queue new. And then like this, and then expression, and then close paren \n, like that. Okay. I really need to fix up infix or prefix stringizer. So that does indentation properly and a whole big bunch of other things. Apparently the \n is also not necessary. Let's hope this doesn't bite us. If it does bite us, we'll have to go back and here we're going to say and I do have to fix the fix this so that so that there's no equal sign, because that's wrong. There shouldn't be an equal sign. There, that's what it should be. Okay. Oh, well, that's interesting. All right, then. Apparently, this is getting indented properly. All right, it looks like this here actually succeeds. Um, this does not. I'm just going to ask. Here's what I will do here is I will just ask a random AI. Stop that. Yes, I told you to update. Oh well. And I'm not going to be asking Junie in this particular case. I don't want an agent this time. I just want to ask an AI a question. Is that too much to ask? It's an AI chat, right? I don't want an agent. I just want to ask a question. Chat. There we go. In so that's what I'm supposed to. That's the only way I can really do it. Which, blah, but it works. There is may fail, but I'd have to put it at the scenario level, and that's kind of annoying. So now this test case will no longer show up as being something that fails. So we can do our, and to-dos are pretty easy to find. Like there's a whole thing for finding to-dos. So that's good. Now let's look here in while. this I should just fix it so that there's variable declarations for everything. Now this one should work, aside from the fact that and this will be set q dash new and set q dash new, and then this should work. Let's see if there's any failures in the, not just the parser test, we're looking for the while test. Okay, and this also fails. We will also fix this one. We actually really do need some special tests for variable declarations to test shadowing and a bunch of other features of variable declarations. But right now I'm fixing the existing tests, and while in the previous case, what made sense is to split it out into two tests. One that should fail because the variable hasn't been declared, and another that declares the variable and then does the same thing. This one, the thing that makes the most sense is just to run it, to yeah, to fix it so that it declares the variable it's using. Now, let's see if there's an error in any of the while test. There's no error anymore in any while test. So here's what we're going to do here. I am debating whether to I really should have a pre-commit hook. That's good. And then all of these things. All right. So next test failure. So we'll just add variable declarations in here too. And of course, this part fails because that's what we're expecting. Good. That's good that this fails because, yes. And here, set q new x to 10, 0, set q dash new y also to 0. Now we shouldn't have, the next one we should see is at 245 slash 240. Yes. So well, that's very interesting. Oh, no, this is fine. Yeah, this is the next expected failure. All right. So this will just do this. And here we have to replace this or add the var to the beginning here. And here we have to say set q new. This is a terrible thing, by the way. Really, it should be let statements and yeah, but won't worry about it right now. All right, 304 is the next one that fails. Haha. Uh, this one, I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. Um, also, you know, I'm not attracting uh, much in the way of viewers, and this is kind of dull, and there's something else I should be doing right now. Um, maybe I'll fix all of these off stream. I don't know. And then just do a quick rundown of what I do to all of them. But basically, what I'm doing is running through all the tests, looking, and there's going to be a whole bunch that fail. And for every failed test, I go in here and uh, fix it so that it stops failing. And fixing it so that it stops failing might involve patching it up so that it works even though it shouldn't. And when I do that, I put a to do in. Um, that's the upshot of it. That's not a terribly interesting process. So I'll probably do that off camera. I'm also feeling really tired, and uh, not many people are terribly interested in watching right now. So it'll be a short stream today, especially with the big interruption in the middle. Um, well, good night, all.